Welcome back. So, it's been like a year or so, maybe a little longer. I promised you guys consistent updates, and I failed that. So, yeah. Well, what's been happening here? I figured I'm probably actually going to get back into filming this time around, so I need to catch everybody up to speed on what happened. Last you guys remembered, we had the Turbo S2000, I believe, and the FD in the back. The S2, no, we had the FD shell, we had the 86 and my 240, and the Turbo S2000. It's a little hard to make this one because there's some shit that we got to talk about, but I'll just break down what's happened since the yellow car and recent events. The yellow car, I pretty much got stolen essentially because the ECU does not have a lockout, so they were able to turn it. They stole the car. I got it back. Luckily, I found everything, so it's okay. It just took a little longer. I sold the yellow car. I bought an R32 in that time. I sold an R32. I bought an Evo 8, and then I had bought an FD. I'll include the pictures, or if you guys want, just go to fucking my Instagram, Dope Harmon. That'll catch you up on more recent events, essentially. But there's something I have to address. That's the elephant in the room. That's why I haven't been posting. Sorry, I had to take a break. It was still kind of hard to talk about it, but so on October 7th, we lost my best friend. We lost Andy. You guys seen him in all the videos. It's Andy's 86 in my fucking backyard, for God's sake. Yeah, Andy passed away driving his Datsun. Got rear-ended, and then he also rear-ended somebody. And cars from the 70s don't have the greatest safety features, and yeah, so if you guys see me cutting in and out, I'm sorry. Like, it's still hard to talk about for me and the homies and everything that happened. So yeah, we lost probably like all of us lost our best friend, essentially. I mean, I would be selfish to call him just my best friend. He was so much to so many people. But that's more so the reason why you probably haven't seen anything in recent events. I've kind of just been out of it. I'm probably still out of it, as you can tell from this video. I am very bad at trying to organize thought and everything else, because it's a lot. It's really a lot when it's been somebody that you've hung out with for the last 10 plus years, doing car shit every night, every day. It's kind of insane, and it's hard to wrap your head around when shit like that happens. But slowly, I gotta say, he did leave a lot for us to do. He didn't leave us empty-handed. He left all his cars. The night before he passed, we were literally at his, maybe like an hour before he had passed, we were at his house working on his 240. The motor blew on. So even till like the final days, we were still wrenching on cars, and he didn't leave us empty-handed. He left us with a lot of fucking cars to finish. So I will start posting more, but more so my efforts right now are to finish his S2000 before the 1 year creeps up, because we're currently about 9 months since the incident had happened, and I would like to finish before October 7th, and I'll finish before October 7th. I know enough to finish. So with that being said, we've redone his S2000. Me and the guys are throwing in time and just getting it taken care of. His mom has just been the greatest through all this. She's been pretty much just behind us all the way with this. So for his S2000, we had a celebration of life on his birthday on November 7th. So he was 1 month away. It's kind of bittersweet for us, but on November 7th, we drove his car to the celebration of life, and on the way home, I blew the clutch, literally getting into the driveway, which I found funny as hell because the clutch was going out the whole time, and I figured, I was all like, it's got one last run. And I mean, I drove that car home 20-30 minutes on just fourth gear because I couldn't get any other gears because the clutch was so shot. Yeah. So sorry, I had to cut that off there for time lapse purposes, but so with the Andes S2000 so far, we've redone the clutch. We fixed. Right now, we just have the car out right now just to get all the brakes, the rotors, the wheel studs because they were all spinning freely. All that is getting retaken care of. The suspension is blown on his HKS Hypermaxes, but I took the KW V3s off of the turbo car and I'm gonna put those on that car, so I'll probably make a video about that shortly. But for the most part, that car is very close to being finished. We ordered the hardtop glass for his hardtop, and then we've just done the maintenance, and the car is very, very close to being complete, and I'm very happy about that. But I'll post more about that and other things that have happened. So outside of Andes S2000, his SEMA needs a transmission. We'll be posting that build stat soon as we find a transmission. His 240 and his 8.6 are sitting in my backyard. I'll include videos if I can, but his 240 is in my backyard. The motor needs to be put back together. That last night we got the motor in the car. We just need to line up the transmission and do all the plumbing. That'll be done. And the 8.6 needs to be retuned and figure out why it's not turning over once it gets fuel. So that's a whole different thing, but essentially the order will be the S2000, the SEMA, the 240, and the 8.6. So we'll show you all this shit on the channel. And I guess now it comes down to what have I been doing. Next month I do my schooling. I finish up my schooling essentially, so I have a lot more time for this. So I'm just studying right now. But so we have cars here at my house right now, so give me a sec. So this is Ruben's S2000. It's currently being stored here. We just need to do some minor things. I think Ruben's going next season for AutoX again, so this car will be getting some love and, you know, be out there. And then this is my most recent acquisition. So I bought this 2006 S2000. It's a LBP. This is now probably my fucking 12th to 13th S2000. But this one holds a little bit of sentimental value to me because Andy's car was resprayed from silver to Long Beach blue off the NSX. And this is probably just as close as you can get, but I wanted an OEM color. So this is it. This is probably the most bone stock S2000 you'll find in current market. I bought this off of my friend Lance. I met him 10 years ago when he had just bought this car. He's an older dude, but this is pretty much a one owner S2000 with all the paperwork, the bells and whistles. Got our other side plate on it for the homies. But yeah, pretty much this is it. This is bone stock. There is not a single mod. And the only mod that's done to it is the CR shift knob, which I did. So when I bought this car, I paid a hefty chunk of change and sold 2 cars just to get it. For one, the sentimental value because of what it was, and then second would be ideally the mileage on this thing. As you guys can see, 13,238. This car has 13,200 miles on it. I bought this car at 12,900 miles, so this car is essentially a diamond in the rough and pretty much pristine. And that is why I can't put much into it, because like I mentioned, I was going to take the suspension from my car, but these KWs will be going into Andy's S2000. I even bought a Jersey Red Recaro for this car, and I can't find it in me to put it in this car just yet, but yeah, I'll slowly be posting about this car and Andy's S2000, some of Ruben's car, but mainly the focus will now more so be geared towards fixing Andy's cars. So if this is something you guys would like to see, I'd say stay tuned. And finally, I'd like to kind of close things off with saying thank you to everybody that's still subscribed. I know I suck at posting and in general about a lot of things, but it means a lot that you guys still stick around, and you know, I hope you guys will just enjoy what's next, because it's going to be a long ride. I know me and the homies are probably going to be having hell and probably crying about it, but I think it's really cool that you guys still want to see what my best friend created, and just get all his cars running. And I hope like one day we can just get all 4 or 5 of them just stacked outside and just drive around. Be kind of cool. Thank you.